Okay guys, so ito, nagsispill pa ba na? Ito guys, this is just parang parallel lang sa naging explanation sa atin ni Fernando Sasso. No? Dito, dalawang tao na. Actually, even attorney Raul Lambino already raised the section 59 of the rules no, ng ICC. So ngayon, pakinggan naman natin kung ano naman yung mga part na nag-violate yung arresting team ni PRRD. Ngayon, magiging liable ba? Ito yung pinakamagandang sagot natin eh. Because itong si Bangag Jr., siya ang Commander-in-Chief. Diba? Okay, Commander-in-Chief yan. So basically, yung ginagawa ng kapulisan eh sinusunod lang kung ano yung order ng Commander-in-Chief. Now the question is, will Bangag Jr. be held liable sa lahat ng violations sa pagkaka-aresto kay PRRD? At ayon na rin nga kay Auntie Claire, no, kay Yusek Claire Castro, lahat naman daw, wala naman daw na violate. No? So another sampal ng katotohanan naman, ito kay Yusek Claire Castro. Diba? Na nag-feed siya sa atin ng basura. Taliwas doon sa sinasabi niya para lang daw siya sa katotohanan. So pakinggan natin ang mas may katotohanan na galing mismo kay Attorney Neil Abayon. Okay? Pretty much the interpretation of Attorney Neil Abayon as a lawyer is the same with Fernando Sasso. Kaya pakinggan natin mabuti. Ito naman, ang maganda rito, ni-raise niya kung ano ang mga na-violate sa karapatan ni PRRD.
Po natin is kung ano ba yung mga possible legal consequences kung improperly served yung warrant of arrest kay FPRRD. So ang pinakatitingnan po natin today is none other but still the Rome Statute pa rin po. Specifically, Article 59 po ng Rome Statute. So may kita po kasi natin dito, Article 59, nakalagay po dyan, arrest proceedings in the custodial state. Okay, so ano po ba ang procedure according sa Rome Statute? When a person is arrested, he shall be brought promptly before the competent judicial authority. Okay, so take note po a person pag inaresto, dapat siyang dalhin agad sa competent judicial authority. Ngayon, ang next question, anong competent judicial authority yung kailangan dalhin yung taong isang arestado? Nakalagay din po yan dito, which states here, in the custodial state. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin po ng custodial state, yan po yung bansa kung sino yung may custody nung akusado. Okay? Tapos ang next pong gagawin dyan, yung competent judicial authority shall now determine in accordance with the law of that state, kung unang-una, letter A, whether or not the warrant applies to that person. Okay? Pangalawa, letter B, whether the person has been arrested in accordance with the proper process. Okay? And letter C, whether or not the person's rights have been respected. Okay? So makita po natin, Article 59 of the Rome Statute is very clear po. When a person is arrested, dapat agad siya promptly dalhin sa competent judicial authority of the custodial state. Tapos yung competent judicial authority na yon or yung mga courts po has to determine kung nasunod ba yung A, B, and C na binanggit ko. Okay? So ngayon, ang next po nating kailangan tingnan is ano ba ang nangyari sa pag-arrest or yung proseso ng pag-arrest kay FPRRD. Okay? So bago po tayo pumunta dun sa A, B, and C, yung una po talaga nating kailangan i-determine is whether or not FPRRD was brought promptly to competent judicial authority of the custodial state. So, I'm assuming, alam nyo naman po siguro yung sagot, di ba? Ang dami naman pong videos lumalabas kung ano yung procedure nangyari. Pero anyway, briefly i-discuss ko kung ano yung personal observations ko po based on all the videos I've seen and all the news articles I've read yesterday. So, nangyari po si FPRRD, he arrived from Hong Kong, tapos pagdating po niya sa Hong Kong, ano ginawa? Hinuli agad siya dun pa lang sa airport, tapos diretso dinala siya sa Villamor Air Base. So ang question dyan, is the Villamor Air Base a competent judicial authority? Okay? So that is very self-explanatory. I'm sure a reasonable person would be able to answer that himself. Okay? So dun pa lang po makikita natin, FPRRD was not brought before a competent judicial authority. So from the very foundation of this requirement po, medyo may problema na agad. Okay? Pero anyway, i-discuss pa rin natin yung A, B, and C kung meron bang lapses cases din doon. So sa letter A, based doon sa pinakitang warrant of arrest ni General Torre, nakapangalan naman doon Rodrigo Roa Duterte. So it appears that the warrant applies to FPRRD. Ngayon yung next dito is whether or not the person has been arrested in accordance with the proper process. Okay? So one of the most common questions po na nakikita ko dito is kung pwede ba daw yung soft copy lang na warrant of arrest. So sa rules of procedure po natin, sa rules of criminal procedure po natin, nakalagay naman dyan na hindi naman kailangan talaga na physically hawak-hawak talaga ng arresting officer yung warrant pag aresto. Ang required lang po dyan is pag humingi po ng kopya yung akusado, dapat within a reasonable time mabigyan siya nung copy. Okay, so dun po medyo tama naman yung ginawa nila General Torre na kahit soft copy lang yung ginamit pag-serve sa kanya. However, General Torre has to be reminded of the second portion, which is that dapat pag humingi po yung akusado, within a reasonable time mabigyan po siya ng kopya ng warrant. So ngayon, di ko po alam kung nabigyan ba si FPRRD within a reasonable time ng kopya because medyo magulo pa po lahat ng actual happenings in the process po ng arrest. Okay? So yung next question naman po natin dito, whether or not the person's rights have been respected. So ito po medyo magulo pa din yung facts talaga. May nababasa ako na at the time of arrest wala daw pong abogado si FPRRD. So one of the rights po kasi of a person who is being arrested is that he must have a lawyer present of his choice. So kung totoong wala talaga siyang abogado, di dun po posibleng nagkaroon na ng lapses. Okay? Yung pinaka-clear na nakita ko pong isang lapse is yung sinasabi ni FPRRD or nire-request po niya na naantayin daw si Vice President Sara Duterte dumating. Tas sabi niya, my daughter is my lawyer. Pero sabi ni General Torre is that hindi daw pwede na maantay. So doon pa lang makita din po natin that can be considered as a lapse since hindi po inalaw yung akusado dito na antayin yung counsel of his choice which is his daughter, Vice President Sara Duterte. Okay, however, this situation po can be countered considering nandun naman si former Executive Secretary Medial Dia and I believe Attorney Martin Delgra was also there. So pwede yun i-argue nila General Torre na may counsel naman na si FPRRD. Pero yung counter-argument nga doon ng FPRRD is yung counsel of choice niya is si Vice President Sara Duterte. So dapat inantay. So these are all arguments lang po, gray areas pa lang po to. Hindi talaga natin sure kung sino papanigan ng korte. Pero overall po, kung ako tatanungin, yung professional assessment ko po talaga sa situation, the mere fact that the accused FPRRD was not brought promptly before a competent judicial authority, that is already a clear lapse or mistake po under Article 59 of the Rome Statute. Okay? And ano lang din po pala, clarification lang kasi napansin ko hindi pala nazo-zoom in tong videos ko sa TikTok at sa Facebook. So baka hindi nyo po nababasa tong mga fina-flash kong mga batas. Pero sa YouTube po, kung doon kayo manood, pwede nyo po yan i-zoom in. Okay, pero anyway, ngayon punta na po tayo sa number 3 ng Article 59. So dito po nakalagay is that the person arrested shall have the right to apply to the competent authority in the custodial state for interim release pending surrender. Okay? So yung surrender po dito, hindi po to surrender ni FPRRD sa police force natin. This is surrender of the accused to the International Criminal Court. Yan po yung surrender dito. Ito pong number 3, ang pinaka main point po dito, pag yung isa pong akusado sa ICC case na aresto na ng custodial state, meron po siyang right to apply to the competent authority for an interim release. So ito pong interim release, this is more or less similar po to the right to bail. So makikita po natin, di ba, sa number 3, meron din pong right to apply ng interim release ang isang akusado. So dito po, again, this can already be considered a violation since yun nga, si FPRRD was not brought promptly before a competent judicial authority. Second, he was not also given the right to apply for interim release pending surrender. Take note po, number 3 specifically states the person arrested shall have the right to apply interim release pending surrender. So in short, the word shall means mandatory po yan na may karapatan talaga siya mag-apply ng interim release prior to his surrender dun po sa ICC. Okay? Ngayon punta naman po tayo sa number 4. Okay? This is still Article 59 pa rin po lahat to. Okay? So Article 4 nakalagay po dito, in reaching a decision on any such application, yung application po na to is the right to apply for interim release. The competent authority in the custodial state shall consider unang-una po yung gravity of the alleged crimes. Pangalawa po, urgent and exceptional circumstances to justify interim release. So dito po, ano po ba yung gravity of the alleged crimes? Of course, seryoso po because ang allegations po against FPRRD is crimes against humanity. So yung gravity po ng offense alleged against FPRRD shall be considered po in relation to the urgent and exceptional circumstances considering po the status of FPRRD. So isa pong pwede gamitin ditong argument ni FPRRD is of course his age because he's already 80 years old. So doon na lang po yan, pwede yan timbangin kung whether or not yung age niya being 80 years old can be considered as a valid justification po for an interim release. Okay, so again, that is up to the competent judicial authority or the competent authority in the custodial state to determine kung mas matimbang ba yung pagiging 80 years old na ni FPRRD in relation to the crime alleged. And lastly po, number 7 dito nakalagay, once ordered to be surrendered by the custodial state, the person shall be delivered to the court as soon as possible. Okay, so yung court na tinutukoy po dito, hindi na to yung regular courts natin dito sa bansa natin, sa Pilipinas. This is already the ICC, yung tinutukoy. So ang kailangan po, merong order from the custodial state na iso-surrender na. Therefore, kung makita po natin, it must undergo all these processes, yung mga diniscuss ko po ngayon, para po makagawa ng proper order for surrender yung custodial state dun sa ICC. Okay, so overall po, yung assessment ko po in the implementation ng warrant of arrest against FPRRD, meron pong mga lapses talaga. Kung ako po tatanungin, that is my professional assessment and or observation. Okay, you are free to disagree with me, pero kung ganun po, wag na po kayo makipagdebate kasi wala naman pong mananalo sa atin sa comment section. Okay, because again, tandaan po ninyo, I am a licensed lawyer who is interpreting this provision in accordance po with my knowledge and wisdom, of course, as a lawyer.
O, diba? Ilang minuto na ako nagsasalita na kami pala yung live. So basically guys, here, as you can see, nilatag na mismo ni Attorney Neil Abayon kung ano ang mga violations. Anong parte ng provisions ng Article or Section 59? Ano ba? Section 59 ba? Article 59? Ang na-violate. Maraming procedural ang na-violate, ang hindi nasunod. Ang ending, ano nang naging ending? Sino, ito nga una natin tatanungin, sino mananagot? Si Bangag Jr. ba? O yung mga nag-implement ng inutos sa kanya? Sabi nga ni General Torre, siya daw ang pinaka-boss ng oras na yun. So, will General Torre face all those cases against him because of the violations? Another question, will this be raised sa ICC by the time na dumating si VP Sara? I'm very sure. No, this is being discussed with the lawyers. No? Pag ganun ba ang nangyari, Madidismiss ba yung kaso gaya na nangyayari dito? Guys, pag meron mga procedural, no? May procedural lapses sa isang kaso. Ang kaso dito nadidismiss. I'm just not sure kung sa ICC, ganun din yung mangyayari. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba na sinabi dito ni Atty. Neil Abayon at saka ni Sasurgado Sasos? Wala. Pero magkaiba ang sinasabi ni Atty. Claire Castro at saka ng isang Atty. Neil Abayon. Ayon nga kay Atty. Claire, para lang daw siya sa katotohanan. Mukha bang may katotohanan yung mga pinagsasabi niya? Dahil hindi sila nagtutugma sa sinasabi ni Atty. Neil Abayon at saka na lang ni Sasurgado Sasos. Isa ba itong panggagago sa atin? Insult to our intellect? Na hindi natin kaya mag-research? Alamin? Diba? Yung pagtitwist ng mga statement nila. You wanna say hi? Who's that? I'm vlogging. See? Okay. Meron pa bang naniniwala sa inyo, kay Atty. Claire as the PCO? Gaya nga din sinabi ko nung una, ayoko, sinasabi ko sa inyo, it's not necessary na mag-unsubscribe kayo sa kanya. Magkakaiba tayo ng opinion. That was her as a private citizen. Pero ngayon, as an undersecretary, making false, hindi mo alam kung false statement or iba lang interpretation niya, but again, it's a disinformation or misinformation, yun ang dating sa akin. Kung babalikan natin, hindi ko pinanood yung ano niya eh. Pero sabi nga ni Sas, pinapalabas daw ni Yusik Claire Castro, dapat ang Dutch authority, Dutch court, ang mag-interpret whether or not proper ang pagkaka-aresto. Diba? Hindi mo alam kung ano yung intention eh. Hindi ba niya alam kung ano yung sinasabi niya? Or pinapaniwala niya ang taong bayan na magaling siya at bobo tayo. Not to determine, not to educate ourselves about sa rules and procedures na sa ICC. Simulang naging undersecretary itong si Claire Castro. Wala na siyang sinabi na hindi siya nabara ng taong bayan. So, sino pang maniniwala sa kanya? Doon sa mga gusto mag-unsubscribe sa kanya, go for it. Go for it. Kaysa naman pinapanood niyo siya at magiging bobo lang tayo sa mga pinagsasabi niya.
Motion detected at the kitchen.
Anyway guys, again, maraming salamat sa panonood. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, at i-comment nyo na! Ang saloobin nyo tungkol dito sa ating topic. Naniniwala pa ba kayo sa sinasabi ng isang Yusik Claire Castro? Kung matagal nyo nang na-realize na binibilog lang talaga ang ulo natin.